Minister, despite your statements, you're actually not in line with anything. You're substantially out of step with best international practice in this regard by continuing to prescribe this dangerous and discontinued drug as your first line of defence in terms of anti-malaria vaccinations and assistance. And you're just teeing up the state for actually massive payouts and damages in the future. I think the case for removing Larium is probably ironclad at this stage. Other jurisdictions have moved in that direction and you're lagging behind. Your response on the 2nd of May seemed to indicate that because we had a stockpile of the drug, well sure look, we might as well use it and let it run out. That is completely wrong for the members of the force. It's completely out of sync with the majority of deputies in this House who have signed a motion to say this drug should be discontinued. And I'd ask you to rethink a step that's out of thinking with this House and best international practice.
Minister.
Well, let me state, as I stated in my original reply, that I am abiding by the Defence Force's medical policy on the use of malaria chemoprophylaxis is in line with the United Nations and World Health Organization guidelines. I have taken the views specifically by Deputy Daly and by Deputy Smith, by Deputy Daly on a number of occasions. But I have been informed by the management in the Defence Force organisation that Larium is the most appropriate form of medication for the missions that we are participating in Mali and sub-Saharan Africa at this moment in time. And let me state that Larium is medication to fight malaria, where it is a serious disease and has killed approximately 438,000 people in 2015. And also that I have been, the advice that I have received is the best possible advice from the Defence Forces. I am not a medical doctor. I have stated that on numerous occasions in this House here.
Thank you,
I am not a medical medical knowledge to be able to
Thank you, Minister.
not take their advice.
Is it not extraordinary that the Defence Forces continue to use it when the chairman of Roche, the company that manufactures Larium, has said that its use against malaria is no longer necessary? Dr. Franz Hummer is on the record as saying that science has advanced considerably since Larium was introduced and that there are more effective anti-malaria drugs available that with reduced side effects. Surely the Defence Forces should be using such drugs. Larium is now withdrawn from sale in Ireland. The side effects can be very severe and include anxiety, depression, paranoia and suicidal behaviour. Some 50 serving and former members of the Defence Forces have lodged claims against the state, and as Deputy Daly has alluded to, this government is teeing itself up for further claims against the state. Legal proceedings have been served in 37 cases. Surely, Minister, the game is up on Larium.
Thank you very much, Deputy Daly.
You're now a lonely voice, Minister, and I'd like to remind you of the hepatitis C scandals in the 1990s when the PTSB were alerted in 1991 that a batch of anti-D produced in 1977 might be contaminated. Despite the alert, they continued to use it and the women were not given any information. The slip-ups were repeated and nothing was done. We're in danger of repeating ourselves about that tragedy. It took a mother, Bridget McCall, to take a case against the state to rectify this. I'll remind you that despite all the digging of heels, the state ended up paying out $1 billion and legal costs associated with 4,500 claims in relation to the Hep C scandal. Minister, this is on your watch. Do you want to ruin the lives of Defence Forces personnel and put them into a similar position as Bridget McCall? Do you want to ruin their lives and indeed your reputation, like the reputation of our present Minister for NAMA, Michael Noonan, has been impacted upon by his treatment of Bridget McCall? Own up to our mistakes, discontinue this failed drug and remove it now.
Deputy O'Soddy.
drugs available, and most other armies who are operating in theatre in sub-Saharan Africa use doxycycline or Larium in particular. But have you ever asked the Irish Medicines Board to peer review Larium and the use of Larium for military services around the world, given that it's a number of years since Larium was first introduced, and in recent times the vast majority of militaries operating in those areas have switched away from Larium because of the effects it has on their troops?
Thank you, Deputy Minister.
Let me state to the deputies that at this moment in time there are no plans to withdraw Larium from the range of anti-malarial medications available to the Defence Forces. And as I have already indicated, Larium remains in the formulary of medications prescribed by the Medical Corps for Defence Forces personnel on appropriate overseas missions to ensure that our military personnel can have effective protection from the very serious risks posed by malaria, and the use of and the information on the medications is kept under ongoing review. Deputy Smith, you stated there about Roche. My understanding is that Roche pulled out of Ireland for commercial reasons. It was absolutely no other reason other than commercial reasons, and they stated that, I think it's when they pulled out in late 2015 or sometime in 2016, when they pulled out of Ireland. And Deputy Daly, I just want to address the question that you stated that I said there was a large stock of this drug, Larium, in stock in the Defence Force, and that's the only reason why we're using it. We're using it because this has been prescribed by the Medical Corps of the Irish Defence Forces, and this is the best available advice that I've been given from the Defence Forces, that this is the best available drug and anti-malarial drug available for the use of members of the Irish Defence Forces.
Thank you, Minister.